Drop dubs, hit routes, so yeah, we on the move. From the paint to the pocket, got nothing to prove. Precision in the pass, rhythm in the run. Every play, every day, till the work is done.
Yeah. Step on the field, I'm reading the D. Eyes wide open, ain't fooling me. Pump fake side step, I'm breaking the press from baseline to sideline. I'm bringing my best, snap back, quick glance. I'm calling the play, hoop dreams and touchdowns. I'm making my way, no look behind the back. Fred in the scene, every angle, every shout. I'm chasing a dream. Drop times, hit routes in the deep, no doubt. From the field to the hardwood, hear the crowd shout. Pass it, dish it, through traffic. We find.
What is up, everybody? Appreciate you for tuning in to another edition of Passion and Precision. You already know, Kyle, Patriots fan, resident Ravens hater. I guess that's the new intro for myself. So tonight, it's just going to be Jory and myself. So we're going with the OG crew. Key will be back next week. Had some stuff she had to take care of. You know how that is. Life be lifing sometimes. And as you can see, we have a lot we're going to get into. We have Divisional Round to talk about. We got Wildcard Weekend to reflect on. We have NCAA scandal yet again that we'll discuss. And I think an interesting conversation that Drury and I will have, as well as you all in the chat. Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, narratives around those two. We're going to kind of dissect it and really get into those two quarterbacks because I think that they are, I guess, interesting topics when we get into playoff football, coming up short and all that. What's going on, Tapa? See you in here already. But before we get into all that, Jory, how are you doing tonight?
Sports been pissing me off all week, and I'm ready to talk about it.
All right, look, hey, that's why we do the show. And we're, like I said, we will touch on a lot of that. But I feel like we should start with, get this out of here. Let's start with the NCAA gambling probe. So the feds are looking into about 40 players from 20 schools and point shaving and all this. Like, you guys probably know the story, but schools like St. John's and like Western Michigan, I believe, and some other schools like that. This is not the first one because we've discussed NCAA gambling. We discussed pro sports gambling. And I think it's a very simple question that needs to be asked. Is sports gambling out of control? And if it is, how would you rein it in? What kind of restrictions would you put on it?
I'm to the point where I'm like, just ban the shit. Just ban it.
So
just ban it. Because
widespread, just you're an athlete, no gambling for you.
Just ban it. I'm over it because either way, even if you put these restrictions, there's still people who prey on these people, who prey on other people because of their athletic ability and get them in a whole ditch. So just outright ban it, and make the penalty severe if you're caught doing something under the table. Because I'm just sick of this shit.
Okay. I mean, look, that's definitely fair. And I kind of agree with you.
Started on Rich Paul Topper.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a little bit. What's going on, Will? So my thing about it is, I agree. It is way out of control. It's out of hand. I think this is something that, sports gambling has always kind of been in the background of sports long before. Now it's just that with the availability of it, with all the websites, with social media and all that, I feel like it is more in the spotlight. So I feel like for the NCAA, I agree with you. NCAA, just ban it. Don't need college kids getting a bunch of NIL money and then using that money to go out there, get into some issues with some people that are just doing them wrong. And then we're talking about point shaving and all that. college doesn't need that. I feel like they can do away with it. I feel like on the pro level, it's very simple. If you play the sport, don't gamble on it. Shouldn't be that difficult. Maybe the penalty needs to be harsher, where you get caught, maybe you're losing half a season, you get caught again, you miss a whole year, and okay, well, you miss like a whole year, and then the third time you're just gone. Like, I don't understand on a pro level how some of these people are getting in trouble for like a couple 100,000 and you making like a couple million a year. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, college kids, I get it. The temptation is there. They need to just do away with it. Yeah, so top of NCAA, they found 40 kids and like from 20 different schools that they're investigating for point shaving and stuff like that. So it's once again in the NCAA space, which we know NCAA poorly run, not really run by anybody of like note. That's another thing I feel like the NCAA needs to tighten up their hierarchy and, you know, get a commissioner, get like a commissioning group or something like that that kind of oversees it and puts people in certain spots. Because right now, it's just these colleges like left on their own to kind of do their own thing. And we know a lot of these schools.
They need a big board. They need a big ass board. One who kind of oversees everybody. And then you get one commissioner for each damn sport. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
That way you have more eyes on it, and shit just ain't going blindside. Turn a blind eye to it. At this point, it's irritating because if you're not catching it while they're in college, then once they get to the professionals, they're gonna start doing it, and then when they end up in Jonte Porter ass, the same position he's in, which is a damn prison cell, they'll be stuck.
Yeah.
Like,
right. And you know, for these kids, like, it's hard to put that responsibility on them to stay away from it because it is so prevalent. But they have, at a certain point, they have to learn. It is not cool. Don't do it, or the privilege you have of playing college sports could be taken away from you. And obviously, you could end up with jail time depending on, you know, how deep it goes. Like, that should be scary enough. But as we can see, a lot of these kids feel like they can do it and get away with it, which I think is crazy, but that's where we are. But I do agree with you. The NCAA needs to be a stronger, like, governing body.
That's why I'm like, ban the shit. Just ban it.
And Topper brings up a good point. March Madness is right around the corner where it's going to become even tougher. And last thing NCAA needs is March Madness games being thought of as being a little fishy for point shaving. So I agree with you. College level, ban it. Pro level, please don't bet on your own sport. Shouldn't be that difficult.
The thing is, and the one thing I will applaud the NCAA for doing is going to the whatever commission and asking for all college sports to be done until they can figure this out.
Yeah, I agree. That's smart on their part. Yeah. Right. That's them admitting that it's too widespread for them to handle right now. So, and I feel like that's something that could be accommodated until NCAA puts in some parameters and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what? We're off and running. NCAA, hopefully we don't have to talk about you all again with gambling, but humans are humans and they're going to make mistakes, so we already know to be hearing more about it around March Madness. So going from the NCAA, we're going to take a step across to the NBA, where a lot of players who could be traded are now eligible to be traded, and we're seeing a lot of names out there. And Toppy, you brought up Rich Paul. That's why I was like, hold on, we'll talk about him in a second, because he's making his voice known surrounding trade rumors, which I know Jory has an issue with that, so we'll definitely get into him. But I I feel like it's interesting that some of the names that are out there, we already know Trae Young got moved. We already know, we talked about that last week. But another name that was, I guess, in the spotlight was Giannis. So what we learned was Giannis won't formally make a trade demand. He seems like he's bought in with Milwaukee as long as Milwaukee's bought in with him. So Milwaukee is now canvassing the landscape to bring in players to help the Bucks and Giannis. Some names that they're kicking around: Andrew Wiggins. I mean, Brett, if you were in the chat, would love to know how you feel about Andrew Wiggins as a potential Buck. But I guess, what do you think about Giannis will not go down the road of formally asking out of Milwaukee? Do you think Milwaukee should take that as an opportunity to build around him, or should they go ahead and move him because of maybe where they are as a team? Because they are, below 500? I think they're like 10th in the East. Not real contenders, but seems like Giannis is cool with them. But we know Giannis wants to win, though. Yeah, what do you think about Giannis and the Milwaukee situation?
Small market team. So if they're going to get rid of Giannis, they better bring in somebody who got some pull.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I heard your reaction. Doesn't seem like you're that fond of Andrew Wiggins.
They need to do a little bit better. Their scouting department needs to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. Because the some of the pieces they've put around him outside of Damian Lillard have been questionable, to say the least. So if I were them, while he's still happy here, I would take this opportunity to thoroughly comb the market and see if I can get better. And if you can't comb the market and you can't you can't scout properly, we need to start looking at the front office. And also take this free agency cycle and actually comb through the free agents and just not signing old ass people.
Yeah, the Turner
You're already
move
old.
Really
That's the problem.
Yeah, Turner move hasn't been great. So I guess if you were Milwaukee, would you be a buyer or seller at the trade deadline?
Who's selling? What are they selling? Kyle Kuzma?
I don't know. Would anybody take Porter Jr.? Would they have Kevin Porter Jr., I think?
I heard they want to go get Miles Garrett.
They have some 3-point shooters.
They want to go get Miles Bridges. I'm like, so we just going to have first team all domestic violence on our roster, huh?
Yeah, his name was out there, but a lot of reporters are like, they don't really know what Charlotte is really doing, so they don't even know if Miles Bridges is available, which would be a Charlotte thing to do. He never lived. Yeah, Wiggins, for being a number one pick, he's never lived up to that.
They need to do better.
So Kuzma and Bobby Portis is who they're offering. Bobby Portis is okay as a sixth man type, but I wouldn't give up too much for him. I like Bobby Portis, but I wouldn't.
Good luck with that.
Okay. I've also seen that the Bulls could be sellers. So, Will, your Bulls team is looking at selling, and names obviously that teams are looking at: Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu. Hope I said that correctly. Kobe White, I think the thought is the Bulls may not be too enthusiastic moving him, but Dosunmu, is getting a lot of interest. He's probably like a lower priced two-way player that a lot of teams are interested in. And it is crazy. Remember, first week of the season, the Bulls looked like, well, not the best team, but they got up to that really good start. And they have kind of faded back to where we all thought they were going to be, where they're basically a play-in team at most with a roster that's it's mid. And they could be sellers, which means they could be, I guess this could be like part two of the whole, what DeRozan, Levine they got rid of, and now maybe it's White, DeSumo, and whoever else. I guess, what do you think about the Bulls? Do you think there should be any interest in some of their players, or is that a roster that probably just need?
No, hell no. Like, sorry, Will. You know what's on that roster. Like, they're not going to be enthused about moving Kobe White, even though I think his talent is being wasted in Chicago right now. He's very talented. I would like to have him in purple and gold. You can take Gabe Vincent, Vanderbilt, and Bronny's rights.
I saw Vanderbilt getting mad at somebody the other day at the end of the game, and I was just like, I don't know if you're the guy who needs to be.
I wish they get mad and play defense. Get mad and do that.
Yeah.
Do that before you start getting mad at people. Get mad and play defense. Do something worth a damn. Get mad and start making your goddamn shots. Instead of running around doing a bunch of nothing. Cardio. Get mad and do that. How about
all they have that's attractive is White and Giddey. I feel like they really like Giddey. I mean,
of course they like Giddey.
if they moved Giddey and White, that would probably be like a full
rebuild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems like the Bulls don't want to necessarily do all of that right now.
Anything that they do, they're still going to be about at least 3 to 4 seasons away from competing and actually being relevant.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what they do.
Right. Yeah, I think they tried to look at that first week and see how long it would last, because obviously a lot of these East teams were looking at the East with, Indiana, Boston losing their top guys, and then, seeing how the Knicks and Cavs were going to move, although the Cavs have been struggling, but, the Bulls are the Bulls. So I agree. I think they probably should completely tear it down, but I guess they're going to, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. It's the Bulls.
They don't know what they're doing.
Right. They're just winging it. And that's why they're a consistent playing team.
That's why we don't know what they're doing, because they're directionless. They have no vision. They're spineless. They're terrible at scouting. Terrible. They don't know how to put together a worthwhile roster.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't did that since Michael Jordan left. Actually, Derrick Rose. I'll be nice.
Yeah. They had their moment with Derrick Rose.
So, bro, and that was what, a decade and something ago?
It was a while, yeah. Long enough you almost forget about Derrick Rose's years in Chicago. Let's see what else.
Like, man,
Ja Morant is out there.
Ja,
so,
I want to say something about Ja.
But it was like last week, it seemed like people were like, oh, Heat like him, the Raptors, like 5 teams. And then I'm reading earlier today, and they're like, yeah, the Heat aren't really that interested. They're just kind of, they're kind of like mild engagement with Memphis. Probably like if Memphis just gives them away, Miami would be like, sure, we'll take them. Why not? Toronto supposedly has some interest, but it seems like that's it for Ja Morant. And then I'm looking at Toronto's roster. So I'm like, if Toronto wanted Ja Morant, what would you have to give up? I feel like you'd have to give up like RJ Barrett. And because Toronto's over the luxury tax, I believe the money has to like be a perfect match. So they'd have to do like RJ Barrett, like Murray Bulls or whoever. I think the young dude that they just drafted, and Abaji to make the money work to get Ja Morant? I mean, basically, would Ja Morant be an upgrade over RJ Barrett?
For
That's
what?
what you have to ask yourself. What would you say? Would you rather have RJ Barrett or Ja Morant? I feel like RJ Barrett's been kind of disappointing in Toronto, and Ja Morant, we already know. In Memphis, he just needs to go.
So. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's up, Reed? RJ Barrett. Okay.
Why didn't you know? I think it's not a needle mover. No
Okay.
matter what. Even if you just swap. Even if you just do an even swap. It's not a needle mover. Yeah. I know he needs to get out of Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear that he needs to get out of Memphis. This little fight thing that they had going on made it clear.
I don't know if you see Reed's comment, but there's Jada Pelicans scenarios being kicked around too.
So are they trying to just trade trash? I take Ja and you take Zion? Because he need to get up out of there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think Ja. I'm kind of like with Jory. Like at this point, Ja has to kind of rebuild his NBA career. Like right now, if he went anywhere, like I'd see the headline and be like, "Oh, okay, cool," but it wouldn't necessarily affect how I view, standings or contenders in any way. All right, so Reed's saying apparently it's Trey Murphy, Alvarado, and a pick for Ja. If I'm Memphis and that's
the
offered,
Pelicans would be.
I take that right away. Go ahead.
The Pelicans would be absolutely remedial, smooth for even letting Trey Murphy go for that.
Mm-hmm.
The Pelicans are stupid if they let that go.
Yeah, that seems like too much. So in that scenario, you'd have Ja and Zion in New Orleans. Good luck. That's
Good luck with that.
That's not a winning formula
Good
either.
luck with that.
Some of these organizations, and they wonder why they're in the spot that they're in. I mean, look, Tava brought up Rich Paul. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Rich Paul, not only with the Lakers stuff, I'll get into that, but Rich Paul is now telling the Mavericks to trade AD because we know he represents AD. He's gone on a podcast and said, if I was running the Lakers, I would, what do you say? Like he would deal for Jaren Jackson, which, speaking of Jaren Jackson Jr., Jory's going to jump back in. But Memphis has said they're not trading Jaren Jackson, which a lot of teams were kind of looking at that market to see if they could get in. We know Jaren Jackson has a large contract, but it's not working in Memphis. So it is what it is, but it seems like they're going to keep him. But Ja, obviously, they're trying to move. But like I said, Rich Paul, talking about he would go get Triple J, which I guess is a slight at DeAndre Ayton, who's seemingly fallen out of favor because the Lakers are like closing games with Jackson Hayes in there instead of Ayton. Ayton obviously was their free agent addition. However you feel about DeAndre Ayton, Lakers needed a big. They went down the DeAndre Ayton road, and it seems like they have buyer's remorse already. First off, I don't need to be hearing from Rich Paul on a podcast, because if you do that, And we know how LeBron can be manipulative in the media. It just comes across as Rich Paul is now doing LeBron's work, which then brings a lot of uneasiness with the Lakers. I've already seen posts where they've shown different instances where LeBron gives a player a look on the bench and that player gets traded. And I thought it was kind of weird, but the images lined up perfectly. Because I think the other night, they were sitting on the bench. DeAndre Ayton was a few seats down. LeBron gave that look, which is the same look he gave like Wade and a few others, guys who ended up getting traded. So, like, it's, and that's like the problem with it. Oh, Jory's back in. That's where when Rich Paul's talking on the podcast, we know LeBron's personality. It just comes across that he's just the mouthpiece for LeBron now, because LeBron's trying to, trick us into thinking that it's not him talking. Why would Rich Paul just magically come up with these scenarios? Especially talking about trading Austin Reeves, right? Okay.
What other agent do we ever hear from? What? Tell me, name the agent that we hear from like we hear from Rich Paul.
I honestly
Be
couldn't name
quiet.
another one.
The only reason why we know you is because you're Rich Paul's agent and you married Adele. That's the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care about your comments. We don't care about your hypothetical, stupid ass team dividing theoretical trade scenarios. You're a dumbass. Be quiet. You don't know when to shut up. His client, and his client's offspring need to go to hell. Respectfully.
Okay, so you as a Lakers fan, you took the Rich Paul comments the same way like Tapa and I are, that it's basically LeBron's thoughts through Rich Paul.
So why the hell would you want Austin Reeves traded knowing that your ass is on the end of the line? Why do you expect the damn Lakers to jeopardize their future for your old ass? You barely got 2 pieces of hair coming out of your head. You keep getting hurt with damn arthritis and sciaticas and all this other this nonsense, soft tissue bullshit. Retire. Retire. I'm so sick and tired of the LeBron James propaganda. It's ridiculous.
LeBron turned the Lakers into a drama series. Mo, what's up? Propaganda and clutch sports go hand in hand. Yep. He needs to go. There we go. But now, Rich Paul saying that, everybody's going to be looking at the Lakers to see, do they actually, if the Lakers turn around and move Reeves or whoever,
I'm done.
Around the trade deadline, it's going to be obvious that LeBron told Rich Paul that Rich Paul told us what LeBron was thinking, and then the team did LeBron's bidding, even though I feel like it makes no sense because they've made it seem like they're on the Luka train and LeBron is just there for the ride until his contract's up or until he just decides to walk away. So it wouldn't make a lot of sense to listen to him now, but we know how some teams operate when it comes to LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the last team to talk about, the Kings. Like the Beam, Kings are talking about possibly trading DeRozan, Levine, and maybe a surprise, Sabonis, who's missed a lot of time but is working his way back. I believe will be back this weekend. So obviously if he's out there healthy, that ups his trade value. If you were the Kings, I feel like DeRozan and Levine, you'd probably be like, yeah, go ahead and trade him. Would you trade Sabonis?
Go ahead. Might as well.
Okay.
Might as well. He ain't going to win nothing in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
Start over.
So they'd be basically looking to build around.
Right, but I'm trying to figure out what do they really think they're going to get from with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan at this point?
Maybe draft capital? I don't know. I don't really know what those guys will pull in. They're both, well, DeRozan for sure is older. LaVine's probably younger than we might think, but he's also been through some injuries and all that. So they might get a little bit more for Levine, but I feel like it might be just draft capital that they're looking for. Since they gave Keegan Murray all that money, I guess build around Keegan Murray. I don't know. Kings are another team. I don't know what they're doing. Because Keegan
They don't
Murray's
know
a
what they're
nice
doing.
right. Because like Keegan Murray's like a nice 2, probably 3. They're paying him like he's a 1. If you're gonna trade those 3, then he is your 1. Like I don't know. Skip lighting the beam, pull the plug, and start the rebuild. Topper says Brooklyn is desperate for players. Yeah, you could probably pawn them off on Brooklyn. Or Utah. You know Utah's always good for a deal. And
You know, all
yeah.
those deals Utah makes going to actually play off as something.
Mm-hmm. You would think so.
And Brooklyn is desperate for continuity and something relevant in some type of function.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It doesn't help when you got an airhead named Michael Porter Jr. on the team.
Oh, I actually almost forgot about him. He's also in trade talks as well, Porter Jr.
No, he is exactly where he needs to be, out of the limelight, so he can't get no damn podcasting equipment, and in irrelevance. He's exactly where he needs to be, unless they're going to trade him to Charlotte.
Well, Charlotte needs to decide what they want to do. So that's kind of the major thing here. Teams like Charlotte.
I don't want to see Michael Porter Jr. on a competitive team because that means he's going to get the balls and audacity, go pick up a goddamn microphone and start spewing airheaded bullshit. And I don't want to hear that.
Porter Jr. has proven he could be the best player on a lottery team. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kuminga, I didn't really bring him up because I'm with Windhorse. Windhorse is on ESPN. I think that's when the Kuminga trade request came in, and Windhorse was just like, fine, do it. I'm done with the drama, done with the saga. Don't know why you kept him when you don't even want him. Please just move him. That's kind of where I'm at with Kuminga too. Mm-hmm. Golden State doesn't want him. He doesn't want to be in Golden State. Rip the Band-Aid off and just move him somewhere. Not necessarily the biggest Kuminga guy, but he's still young. He's athletic.
I'll take Kuminga over Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt.
Well, yeah. I mean, Kuminga, he's not a finished product. He just hasn't had enough playing time to develop. So I don't know what Kuminga's ceiling's going to be, but it's better than what it is in Golden State, where he's a bit player that is unhappy. So I'm assuming Kuminga gets moved. I don't know for what. I don't know what kind of interest there is in him. But like I said, he's still young. Right system, he could be a really good wing player that, has tools to be a pretty good defender. Offensively, I think is a little shaky, but we've seen bigger turnarounds on the offensive end from players. So there's no doubt that he wouldn't turn into a really good player given time. Kuminga is better than Keegan Murray. I mean, I like Keegan Murray, but I could see that. You know what? Send him to Sacramento.
No, send him to LA.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. Pick up the phone.
Sacramento doesn't deserve that.
Well, Jory, you gotta go call Pelinka and be like, get me Kuminga. Windhorse does, yeah. Yeah, Jory, hit up Pelinka.
They can take Gabe Vincent. They can take Jared Vanderbilt. They can take Jackson Hayes. Anybody that just don't do shit but cardio and break shots can go.
Yeah, because when you left and came back, I was talking about the whole Hayes and Ayton thing, where Hayes is closing out games while Ayton's just sitting.
Get him off there. Get his soft ass off my team. Cotton candy buddy. Come on now. Cotton candy ass. Just soft. You don't want to block a shot. You don't want to stand in the damn paint. You don't want to defend defend jack squat.
Mm-hmm.
You're terrible on the defender. You brick a lot of stuff. Tell me what it is that he, other than be big for no reason, like Falele.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that he do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get me started on Aiden, but he funny on all the social media damn posts. His play ain't funny.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least he
It's
has
stressful.
that, I guess. He's funny.
Kiki ain't doing shit on the court.
Mm-hmm.
But walking around, running around.
He steals money. There you go. That's what most said he does.
Damn thief. Give it back.
Aiden's last chance before he goes to a rebuilding team.
He needs to go now. Now. Yesterday. Mm-hmm. Expeditiously.
I mean, look, it's the trade deadline's always tricky. Like the NBA one, I feel like there's a lot of names out there where there's a little bit of smoke. I kind of wonder at the end of the day if we don't just get a few minor moves that happen instead of necessarily like the big names that are rumored to be out there and all this. I don't know. So most says that the Lakers are a first round exit waiting to happen.
They are, and it's because they got Ayton on the team. I'm kidding, but I know they have. There's other issues, but Ayton is one of them. He's one of the bigger ones. 7 foot tall, problem, can't defend shit. I wish I would be 7 foot, damn near 7 feet tall, and I can't defend nothing. Swatch your arms.
But that's asking Ayton to be what he's never been, an aggressive big. He's never been that.
How you just gonna be big and soft? You're not a tree.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir. I don't understand with Ayton. I think some people thought playing with Luka, who likes to throw lobs to bigs, would have been
gonna work. I'm like, this. Get this man. I didn't like the move at all. You can tell me that. I said I came on here and I was not happy about that move. I'm like, why?
That is true. You were not.
And now look. And for LeBron to be putting ideas in people's head, we sure did play better without his old ass.
I mean, that could be the reason for all of this. He's probably heard the chatter from people saying that. We know LeBron, the ego's there. He's probably trying to prove a point. I don't know. Who knows? But I mean, look, the Lakers should have known this is what they were getting.
Like that.
Roy Hibbert, unfortunately, was just born at the wrong time. Like Roy Hibbert, if he was in the probably late 80s, early 90s, Roy Hibbert would have been pretty good. But he was like at the end of that era and into this new era, and he's just not athletic enough to really stick around. That was probably the worst thing for Roy Hibbert. Ayton, I feel like Ayton's just mentality. He just does not want to be physically imposing. You just look at him on offense, he kind of just hangs in the paint and does these little push shots, and it's like, why don't you dunk on somebody or do something? Like, I don't know. I agree. Roy Hibbert was probably more talented. He was just slow-footed. Like, but I don't know. Ayton is Ayton. Okay. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the body language and everything. Like Ayton does. Like it seems like with Ayton, he's cool being a basketball player, but he's not trying to be a great one that we remember. Like he's just in it. He's in it for the money.
He don't want to win a ring.
Right.
And
seems like he's not going to make the sacrifices.
Stupid body language from Ayton that I see from Lamar when ain't shit going right and they're down 20 points. I can't stand it. Mm-hmm. You played your way into this mess. Now play your way out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. And look, speaking of Lamar, good transition. We're now going to go to the NFL. The coaching carousel, which since the last time we spoke to y'all, all we've gotten so far is Harbaugh has in agreement to coach the Giants. Is not official yet. And now I'm seeing that there's some hold up in terms of the language of the contract, not necessarily money and stuff. So I guess it still should go through. Now I did see something before we came on. I haven't had a chance to verify, but a rumor about Harbaugh not necessarily wanting Joe Shane as the GM, or would like him to take a lesser role, if not step down. We'll see what becomes of that. But at least for the most part, that spot has been filled, which means we now have 8 jobs left open. It's crazy that almost a third of the league is looking for new coaches. So I guess first, before we get into the other moves, with the other job openings, what do you feel about the fit with Harbaugh in New York? Do you like it? Is it A grade, B, C? What do you think about the fit with the Giants for John Harbaugh?
I don't really care, because we had that plane ready and he took that job. So I'm kind of mad at John Harbaugh right now. F him.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I guess we can start with your team's job, Tennessee. With Harbaugh out of the picture, who's the coach that you want?
They interviewed Dayball today. Mm-hmm. They go into their second round of interviews on Monday.
Okay.
I don't know at this point. I just know who I don't want it to be.
Right.
Nagy.
Yeah.
Jason Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put me through no more BS with these coaches. Callahan was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, I didn't like the fact that they didn't fire him last year, but I'm glad that they waited until this year to do it. Because look at the plethora of coaching talent that's out there.
Yeah.
If I don't get Clint Kubiak,
okay,
I wouldn't mind having Dayball. Don't touch my defensive coordinator.
Okay. Right. I know you like Bernard Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, we'll have to see also Harbaugh's coaching choices, because it does seem like he wants Monken with him. I think people are saying that Orr is going to go with him, but then I've seen that they're interviewing other guys for the DC, so maybe Orr isn't locked in still. And I feel like that's probably smart on Harbaugh's point. So when I look at the Tennessee job, there's 3 names that I've written down that I feel like would be a good fit. Dayball is one. I feel like that would probably be their number one choice. I think the McCarthy, which we talked about before, would work there. I put Kingsbury as a third option if McCarthy and Dayball either go somewhere else or whatever like that, or are interested in the job. I mean, you could do worse than Kingsbury. He's a guy who at least worked with Jaden Daniels. They had a successful season together. Why could he not do that with Cam Ward? At least he would be an offensive mind that can be innovative and creative. I feel like those are the 3 names that you probably should go with. Because some of the names that you mentioned that they have talked to, because we talked about this before as well. If you want to say they aren't having a thorough search, then you're probably missing it, because they're interviewing anybody and everybody. That
they are operating like a $2 hole.
Yeah.
Bruh, not everybody needs to be invited.
Mm-hmm.
Have some standards.
I'm sure the Titans fired their coach first, and all of a sudden 9 teams.
That's what I'm saying. We fire our coach first, and now everybody and their mama, their daddy, their auntie, their sibling, everybody and their whole family want a damn head coach. Make it make sense.
Yeah. But I mean, the jobs that are available, I feel like we could have predicted outside of maybe Pittsburgh and Baltimore, but even we talked about those were two spots that if they were made available, we wouldn't be completely surprised by. But everybody else is like, yeah, we kind of get why they moved on from the coach. But I get what Top is saying, and I get your frustration with it too. Because it would have been a lot easier if it was like just you and the Giants, because those are the two teams that fired in season. This process would look a lot cleaner. Titans would have their pick of everybody. But now, yeah, you're fighting with all these other teams, so I get that. I mean, are there, I guess, any other jobs you've linked people to, or? I know last night we were talking on Sideline to Sideline, and you were putting Callahan in kind of the jobs you didn't like. Like Jory will be right back. She's muted for a second here. So I'll run through some of the jobs and some of the names I have, and you in the chat can tell me how you feel about it. So, get a notebook here. So the Ravens job, I think, is another one that a lot of people are paying attention to. I think if you're the Ravens, that job probably comes down to Anthony Weaver or Jesse Minter. Both of those guys have worked there previous years. It seems like with Baltimore, like that division in general, like Baltimore and Pittsburgh, they're probably going to go with somebody that has ties to the organization. Weaver, if you don't know, defensive coordinator with Miami. Minter is the defensive coordinator with the Chargers. Steelers, that seems like Brian Flores written all over it. I know, we talked about that Sideline to Sideline last night. Gene brought him up, and I was like, yeah, Flores has been there. He seems like he'd be a good successor to Tomlin. Dolphins jobs become popular. True. And I have a name for that one too. So I have Flores for the Steelers. The Browns was the job I was trying to figure out who would go there or who would fit there. I kind of came up with Joe Brady, the Bills OC, to Cleveland. Not really a rhyme or reason to it, but I mean, he did help, I guess, with development of Josh Allen. Browns have a quarterback situation that's a little messy right now, but they have two young guys, Shador and Dylan Gabriel. Could use some development. Why not go get Joe Brady? The Cardinals, I have, I'm not even confident in this name. I have Mike LaFleur to the Cardinals. Oh, okay. I'll just run through some names for jobs, so I'll go back really quickly. The Ravens, I have Anthony Weaver or Jesse Minter. They both worked on that defensive staff before. I feel like that's the way the Ravens are going to go with their job search. Flores to the Steelers. I mean, he used to work there. Makes sense. The Browns, I put Joe Brady, the Bills OC. They have quarterbacks that need development. They have a messy quarterback situation. I guess Joe Brady works there. Cardinals, I put Mike LaFleur, the Rams OC. No real rhyme or reason, but I just needed somebody to go there, and I don't think it happens because watch the Cardinals probably hire like an Arthur Smith for that job, which would be the Cardinals thing to do. The Raiders, I have Clint Kubiak from Seattle. I know you like him as well. Dolphins, I have Chris Shula. The Shula name in Miami, I'm sure it would create a lot of buzz down in Miami if you did that. The Rams, DC. And then for the Falcons, I got Mike McDaniel. Matt Ryan is now the president. I looked back into this. 2015, Mike McDaniel was an offensive assistant when Matt Ryan was quarterback. Seems like the link is there. Actually, I think Mike LaFleur was on that staff too, but I feel like Matt might go get Mike McDaniel. I don't know how Atlanta will like that, but that's just the name I'm throwing out there.
I mean, they'll like him because he knows how to dress.
He would kind of fit the culture. Yeah, that might be their guy. At least he wouldn't have to worry about cold weather.
And they like to front run. The Falcons are front runners.
Yeah. What's up, Reed? Chris Shula. For which job? What's up, Sijin? Browns are second to the Raiders for least attractive only because they're paying multiple quarterbacks still. That's why I'm like, at least with Joe Brady, maybe he can make something out of what they have there. But they do have to fix that nonsense of like 8, 9 quarterbacks on the payroll and none of them are doing a thing for you.
If they just cut Deshaun Watson, they'd have at least one of them off.
I'd have to look into his contract. Unless they have to wait till June to do that for less of a cap hit, but I don't know. Well, the Browns already came out and said that he's going to factor into the quarterback competition next year, which I was like, did y'all really need to say that?
They're remedial. They are dumb. What is he going to factor in?
Mm-hmm.
How not to get a massage? What is he going to factor in? How to be soft? How to be scared to take a sack? How to get hurt? What is he going to be a factor in? The Cardinals the Cardinals need an owner.
I mean, Cardinals need, a lot. But I feel like if you're Shador, you take that statement from Cleveland and you absolutely work your butt off in the offseason, go back to training camp and show them that you're a better quarterback. Because I swear, I'm not ready for the conversations if Deshaun Watson all of a sudden is QB1 for all the Shador fans to be like, oh, he's being wronged again. No, I'm done with that. He's gotten a taste of the starting job. Keep the starting job. Work for it. Just do what you got to do. I don't need to see Deshaun Watson on TV on Sunday anyway. I feel like he's completely broken. And it'll be, 2-3 years since he's like taking a snap in anger? Like, what's he going to look like? Last time we saw him, wasn't that good either.
Russ Bucket.
Right.
And Russ Bucket.
Mm-hmm. I know last week we talked about attractive jobs and least attractive. I think for the most part we all agree the Cardinals one is probably the one that, like I said, Arthur Smith or something probably gets hired there because they just can't get anybody else. And Arthur Smith would probably be like, sure, I'll be a head coach. So what if it is Arizona? And then they can figure out what they're going to do with Kyler Murray.
Then they're going to turn around and fire him 2 seasons later. Like this organization, like this dysfunctional stuff.
Whoever takes that job, they need to give them some stability. Like, they're making strides defensively. You have Trey McBride on offense. You have James Conner, who, like, sneaky is like a 1,000-yard rusher every year. You just need a quarterback spot. Mm-hmm. You got Marvin Harrison. You have something. It's just a mess right now. Right. Cardinals will take whatever they can get. So Thomas said the Eagles, Bucks, and Lions need offensive coordinators, so that's tough for teams that are interested in McDaniels and Daboll. True. But
no,
you would
it's
think
not.
Well, I'm saying, like, you would think of those guys, if they get a head coaching opportunity, they'd probably take that over the OC job, unless the jobs that they're interested in them aren't what they want.
Exactly.
Like, if the Cardinals want them, they'll probably take an OC job at the Eagles, Bucks, or Lions over that. But like I said, McDaniels in Atlanta makes a lot of sense because he has a connection to Matt Ryan, who's now the new president in Atlanta. I guess anything you want to add on the coaching cycle before we move on? I think you already made your plea to
whoever goes to the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just don't let it be Matt Nagy or Arthur Smith or none of that bullshit.
Okay.
And be more inclusive. Not everybody deserves to know about Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
That's a gem.
Okay. Yeah. But I think you were saying something about the Ravens job.
Oh, and whoever takes the Raiders job, I good luck with that. Because I don't care about Brady. I don't care about none of that shit. Ain't no way in hell somebody gonna sit here and say the Raiders job is more attractive than the Titans job. In what way? In what universe? They don't have any talent. Well, barely. They don't have a quarterback. Mark Davis and Bowl Cut Mark is still the owner.
Well, the assumption is you take that job, you get Fernando Mendoza as your quarterback.
How do you know that Mark Davis and Tom Brady ain't gonna get tired of you 2 years in with Fernando Mendoza? How do you know that?
I feel like Brady would be more.
How many coaches are the Raiders playing?
Mark Davis is the one that worries me. And right, like Tom was bringing up a good point.
How many coaches are the Raiders playing?
Seems like Mark Davis only cares about the Aces right now because they're giving them trophies.
Because they're winning.
Yeah. That's true.
How many coaches is Mark Davis paying? So why in the hell would I go there?
So I guess what, Pete? Are they paying Gruden still?
Yes.
That's right.
They're going to be paying Gruden for a minute.
That is true.
He got a 10-year deal.
I know Bisaccia was an interim, so I don't think they're paying him anymore. Oh, yeah, I think McDaniels. Is he still paying McDaniels?
Yes.
He might be, yeah. That's wild. I mean,
and who was before McDaniels?
I'm trying to think. Did it go Gruden, Bisaccia?
Antonio Pierce?
Oh, yeah, Antonio Pierce. Who I see is getting some job interviews as well. Which I don't think he gets hired, but he's getting interviews. Yeah, I don't know. I think, I don't know if people are looking at the Raiders as being attractive because they're in Vegas. I think they have money, but it's Mark Davis, though. Like, he hasn't shown to be a good owner. So I don't know.
He took what Al Davis built and ran it into the ground.
I mean, Al Davis probably would have done that because Al Davis was another one of these speed wide receiver draft picks away from floating that team too. I think that's what it is. If you're a big fan of Mendoza and he's going to go there, that would be your attraction. And you have Brock Bowers and Genty. That'd be your attraction. Feel like you could do something with that.
They're getting rid of Max Crosby.
Yeah. I hope so. Well, not that I hope so, but I assume so. With the way his season ended and him dogging out the Raiders, on social media. They surely have not built an O-line yet.
I have more offensive line, and for everybody who sit on here on this ding dang on, we do have offensive line. J.C. Latham, he's coming into his own. Peter Skoronski, I don't want to hear anything else about little arms. He's also coming to his own. J.C. Latham this is his first season back at his natural position. And he had a hip injury. They need to figure out what the hell to do to Dan Moore Jr. Get him off my team.
Wasn't he like a 1 or 2 year deal anyway?
Yes.
Yeah, that's easy to move off of.
And
I mean, you can draft a tackle for.
They just have a couple more pieces. They have Zeitler.
Mm-hmm.
We still have Kevin Zeitler.
Yep.
So it's not like we don't have an offensive line. They're young. And the two anchors are just now coming into their own in year 2 and 3. Give them time. Because they also had Bill Callahan and his stupid ass sled F them up too.
Right. No, look, I agree with you. Especially as a Patriots fan, I heard a lot of the same stuff. Not even last season, but before this year, that not talented enough of a roster, blah blah blah. The O-line, this, Will Campbell, short arms, all that, and look where they are. With the O-lines, it's tricky. Usually, all you really need with an O-line, they just need time together. And so once you can settle in on 5 guys that you just pencil in and you leave them out there, even if they're rough in the beginning, a lot of times they kind of figure it out, unless they're just a waste and you just have to move on. But it's like you said, Latham went from the left side to the right side. Give him some time to get back into his natural position. Skoronski, I think Skoronski's he's a good left guard. I mean, he's a tackle in college, but he's been a solid guard, so you're good there. Like I said, Zeitler is a vet who can kind of bring it all together. So there's no reason to think that the O-line won't be improved next year just based off of time together. That's it. Plus, if you get offensive-minded coach that knows what they're doing, you can scheme around an O-line that's still building together and still be productive on the field.
I just think that is hilarious that Tennessee doesn't have an offensive line. Tell me you don't watch Titans football without telling me you don't watch Titans football. Dan Moore Jr., for the most part, was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And JC had a hip injury. He came back from it too fast.
Mm-hmm. Look, Tennessee's got money to spend too. Worst comes to worst, you can buy what you need on the O-line.
And if the Ravens don't sign Linderbaum, hand him here.
I mean, yeah. Teams will be fighting to get Linderbaum if he wiggles loose and the Ravens don't re-sign him. Let's see. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get into Wild Card Weekend. Let's look back on the week that was before we get into Divisional Round, obviously. Let's start Saturday. The Panthers gave it their all, put in a good showing, went against the Rams, lost to the Rams late on a Parkinson touchdown, where good body control, he stayed in bounds on the sideline for the touchdown. We'll talk about the Rams for the Divisional Round. Panthers, they were a team that, you and I talked highly of last season with their growth and everything they had going on. The Panthers are going to exercise the 5th-year option on Bryce Young, which I think makes sense. I'm hoping that leads to somewhat of an extension because I think Bryce Young showed enough in that playoff game that you could feel safe in that, he should be better next year, maybe more consistent, and possibly they could repeat as a division winner next year. It's a weird division, so it's hard to say that confidently, but they seem like they're in a good position to do so. So I guess, what do you think about Bryce Young and the Panthers up against the Rams?
They almost won, and I'm very proud of them. Granted, their mistake was giving Stafford too much time. Mm-hmm. And they were one Puka blocked pick away from winning that game.
Yeah.
I know Puka Nacua was the most hated person in that locker room right after it.
It's crazy to
I'm
think.
actually proud of him.
Ted is a dog. Yep.
I think I'm proud of them. They do need a couple more pieces, especially in the secondary. Right, Poodle.
Would you resign? I mean, would you give Bryce Young a new contract, or would you let him play on the 5th-year option and then deal with the contract either mid-season or whatever?
I'll just go ahead and give it to him.
Okay.
It's cheaper now. It's cheaper to do it now.
How many years would you give him?
4.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of my thinking. 3-4 years, and hopefully let him grow with Ted. Ted got so much hate during the draft period. I'm glad he's proven the haters wrong. Yeah, wasn't Ted speed they thought was going to be an issue with him or something like that?
Well, it was an issue, just not in the way they thought it was.
Yeah.
He a dog.
4 sounds fair. Yeah. Okay. Saturday night, we had Packers Bears, which, look, we learned a lot in that game. We learned that the Bears, they just love falling behind and winning games late. That's just their MO. We learned that Ben Johnson really can't stand Green Bay. He'll tell any and everybody how much he hates Green Bay. And oddly enough, the Bears win that game. He goes through Matt LaFleur, and now this week he has to face Mike LaFleur, who's on the Rams staff. So I guess he can take it out on the whole family and beat them if they can. Like I said, talk about the Bears with Divisional Round. Looking at the Packers, I guess looking at Jordan Love. Is Jordan Love good enough to win a Super Bowl for you as a quarterback?
Yes, if the receivers stop dropping the ball on last-minute drives.
Okay. I agree with that as well. I'm a big Jordan Love fan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, if Michael don't get hurt, it should have been this year.
Okay. Do you agree with Green Bay? I guess Green Bay is in talks of an extension with LaFleur. Do you agree with that, or do you think they need to move off of him?
If they give him an extension, 2 to 3 years max.
Okay.
Can you get out of your own way?
Yeah. Sajin, I guess I kind of agree with that. Can't talk about the Bears without Damian. Romeo Doubs can be inconsistent, and if you heard, I think Brett last night and also on the ball, Brett is of the assumption that Romeo Doubs may not be back in Green Bay, which, I mean, on the free agent market, he'll probably land somewhere. Like, I like Doubs, but I agree. He can be inconsistent. Some of that might be the Green Bay system, because their system is very... I mean, I had Romeo Doubs on a fantasy team, and 1 week he would look really good, and then it's like 3 weeks you forget that he's even on the Packers. And I think it's another question about, Matthew Golden. They drafted in the first round. Is he a number 1 wide receiver? I think going into that draft, everybody was saying they have a bunch of 2s and 3s and not a number 1. Is Golden a number 1? I don't know. But I like the depth of their wide receiver position. But that Bears game probably showed where if they had like a legit go-to guy, maybe it's a little different. I don't know. But Love still had 4 touchdown passes with that group. Probably should have won it, but the Bears did what the Bears do, and I don't know. It's fascinating how the Bears win these games. But I do agree with you. Jordan Love is a really good
Matt
quarterback.
LaFleur also has Bears culpability into that too.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a good point. If Tucker Kraft was there, that game might have gone differently. Tucker Kraft was having a great season before the knee injury. And he was Love's kind of main target. See, Sunday, we had Bills and Jags. That game was, I feel like it kind of went the way a lot of us would have thought. Two teams that were kind of evenly matched. Trevor Lawrence had the ball in his hands, had the opportunity to create a playoff moment, throws a pick. Tre'Davious White, who...
Exactly.
Tre'Davious White was in Baltimore. Couldn't do a thing. Gets to Buffalo, all of a sudden, he's a lockdown corner again. Funny how that is. So I guess looking at that with the Jags, Trevor Lawrence, I feel like some people are making it seem like Trevor Lawrence had a decent game. I thought, and Topper, you are a Jags fan. What did you think of Trevor's performance? Like, how would you grade Trevor's performance, Jory? I mean, I have his numbers if you need.
A Z. A
he was
Z.
18. He was 18 for 30, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 207 yards, and 86.4 rating. Okay, top it says below average.
Z.
Okay.
Z. The last letter in the alphabet. Z. Because why is it always in the most important moments that his decision making just get all questionable and shaky and shit?
It's a good question. I mean, he's 1-2 in the playoffs.
I'm about to tell this this chihuahua that she can't keep coming in and out of here, barking at me to trying to let her in here. I was not rooting for Goldilocks.
Right. But you and I both picked the Bills in that one.
My thing about Trevor is you got to make good decisions in the playoffs. You did this in college. Why can't you make that translate now? Come on. Come on. Like, okay, your rookie year, you were played with Urban Meyer. I get it. You had Doug Peterson, and you still didn't produce much of nothing. You just continued to do the one round, the play good for half a season, and then fall out of the sky. Now you got Cohen, and it was a little rough. But Cohen's a good coach. And I'm telling you, if the staff in Jacksonville probably understands that Cohen's a good coach, and at this point they've seen enough of you. He has gotten to do better. He peaked in college.
Yeah.
He is not a quarterback that you're going to win the Super Bowl with. Not.
Top it says 2027 is full of quarterbacks. If he doesn't produce next season, bye-bye, Trevor. So, Top is ready to move off.
That means y'all got to stink bad enough to be in position to get one.
Right. Yeah. Right. At least you probably have to miss the playoffs next year.
I'm tired of missing the playoffs.
I mean, look, it's the NFL. We see turnarounds every year. As long as you go get that coach to make it all work. Top is all for missing the playoffs next year. So, yeah, Top is just ready for Trevor Lawrence to be gone. I get it. And we'll come back to Trevor Lawrence for another discussion here shortly. Let me get through the rest of the wild card weekend first. Let's see. Sunday, the middle game, Niners-Eagles, which if Key were on here, I'd probably say, sorry, we got to talk about the game again. But the Eagles fall short again, which did lead to Patullo losing the OC title. Nick Sirianni put out a whole statement and everything talking about it. Yeah, I mean, you've all seen it. But once again, the offense let them down against a beat-up Niners team where Kittle ruptures his Achilles in the first half. CMC with all the mileage on his body. Robert Saleh had that defense. They did enough to beat the Eagles. So now the Eagles are in their offseason, and it's like we're getting reports on, I guess, how bad it was with Jalen Hurts or whatever. Still have the A.J. Brown issue. Now they need to know OC to kind of figure it all out. I think the question should be surrounding the Eagles, is their little window here closed with this group, and they now have to retool it to continue this on or whatever? I think they are a talented team, but it's just obviously something was missing this year. Whether it was A.J. Brown became too much of a distraction, I don't know how to make sense of the Eagles season, to be honest with you. But yeah, what was your thoughts on the Eagles season and how it ended?
They need an actual leader. They need somebody with some balls to be their head coach.
Okay.
Because Nick Sirianni, you front-running fraud. You did all of that when you do all that jumping around with your friend when you beat Buffalo. And now you're typing paragraphs crying because you had to get rid of him because you know it was your ass if you didn't. Why is it every time Nick Sirianni picks his own offensive coordinator, they stink?
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to have an eye for offense.
You'd like to think
what
so.
What happened with Brian Johnson? Stunk.
Mm-hmm. He's a head coach and can't call plays.
They need a reset.
How much of a reset?
They need a reset. So, AJ Brown. The time where AJ has run its course.
Okay. Is Jalen the right quarterback?
Yes.
Okay.
He got to a Super Bowl without AJ.
That he did.
And outplayed Mahomes in that Super Bowl without AJ.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sticking with Jalen. I'm definitely moving off of AJ because I'm not tired. I'm tired of you reading books on the sidelines, sending cryptic tweets. We're always having to answer questions about your happiness because you're pouting and throwing tantrums and bullshit because you're not getting the ball. It's not like we're not winning. You're not getting the ball, so you're not happy. I'm about tired of seeing that. Jalen Hurts doesn't deserve to deal with that type of crap.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that game was a product of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen didn't play his standard all year, has been kind of shaky, which is why they haven't been running the ball well.
Yep.
So I'm this close to saying maybe they need to start looking at Sirianni. Because he's terrible at I don't think what does he do well?
I honestly couldn't tell you probably his best quality. It almost seems like is this like his last chance to get the OC job correct? And if he doesn't, then it's just going to be both of them out of the door. Because maybe they just like Sirianni, but they obviously have to recognize the OCs that he's picked have kind of handcuffed, I guess, the team's ability to be a consistent winner. And that's why I know Topper brought up earlier, McDaniel, Dayball, all these guys who are in, getting interviews for that job, like they have to make sure they get the right guy. And I think it's smart they're going outside the organization. Like if they do all this and we find out they like promote a quarterback coach or something to the OC, I think we'll probably be in the same position next year with the Eagles. Get somebody from the outside who can bring a different mindset to that offense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sunday night.
And stop letting him pick.
Go ahead.
And stop letting Nick have his picks.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Sunday night. Patriots, Chargers, defensive battle. Poor Herbert got beat up. Drake May didn't have a great game, but he made the play that he needed to with the touchdown pass to Hunter Henry. The Patriots win it 16-3. Herbert is now 0-3 in the playoffs. I think for a lot of those fans that looked at Herbert as this guy who, for some reason, this bubble was around, I think for them, this loss has brought more attention to Herbert's inabilities in the playoffs, which I think have made people happy with that those conversations are actually out there. I know you and I have talked about Herbert, and he's a talented quarterback, yes, but the big wins are lacking. And if you look at his 0-3 stint, he lost that game that Trevor Lawrence got his one playoff win in when they choked in the second half. He lost to the Texans, I believe it was last year, when he threw 4 picks, and then loses to the Pats this year. No touchdowns, no interceptions, gets sacked 6 times, and looked confused at the defense and where to go with the ball. So I guess to bring Trevor Lawrence back into this, if you had a franchise, seeing how both quarterbacks stack up with each other, I give you the number one, well, I guess you're an expansion team. I give you the choice of Trevor Lawrence or Justin Herbert. Who would you take?
I'll put on pads and do it my damn self.
If you were forced to take one of them, which one would you take?
And
top of yes, there are still excuses because left tackles were injured, which that is a legit one. Don't get me wrong. But Greg Roman got fired, so I guess that was an excuse. The O-line coach got fired, so I guess that's a built-in excuse somewhat. But yes, if you couldn't take, do the job yourself, you had to take Herbert or Lawrence, who would you take to run your franchise?
do I want Goldilocks or do I want Goldilocks' badass little sister?
Right. I guess let me pose the question in the chat.
At least Trevor's won one. He's come from behind. He's come from behind to win one. So just by that, I'll give it sunshine. But I'm running the hell out of the ball though.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. Oddly enough, I'd probably go Justin Herbert. I think arm talent wise, I think Herbert's better. I do need to figure out what it is about these playoff games where he just does not look like the same quarterback. And that,
Well, the last
this
game,
one against
he
New
was on
England,
the floor. He was on the ground for most of the game. After
yeah.
the one sack where he just laid there, I kind of felt bad for him.
You could tell mentally he was like, if I just stay down here, will they take me out of the game? And then he was probably like, you know what? I'll get up, I guess. But it's even before that. Because remember, they had the first and goal on the 10 after the May interception, where that they score a touchdown there. This game looks a lot different, maybe. They go for it on fourth down. He rolls out. Seemingly, there was a window there to get the ball to Keenan Allen, but he overshoots him. So that's even before he started taking the beating. Like, that was a play that he could have made, and he just didn't. So it's easy now to look at the highlights and just look at him laying on the ground all the time and just be like, my heart goes out to you, brother, but I mean, and this is the thing. Top is saying Herbert is a regular season quarterback. It's hard not to agree with that when he's 0-3 in the playoffs. And you feel like there's been talented Chargers teams that he's been there with. They just, for whatever reason, can't win.
They fall
and
flat.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence's only win is against Justin Herbert, too, so there is that.
That's because of Brandon Staley.
Yes.
That man was terrible. If I can name one coach worse than Callahan, it was Staley.
Mm-hmm.
Them two have been the worst.
Somebody told us last week, like, Staley's on somebody's staff somewhere.
Good luck to them.
Is it the Saints he's with? I don't know, something like that. But yeah, so Trevor Lawrence's numbers, I will give you that. The Chargers win. He was 28 for 47, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 288 yards, 70 rating. Then the following week, they lost to the Chiefs. He was 24 for 39, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 217 yards, and a 74 rating. And as I said earlier, against the Bills, he was 18 for 30, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 207 yards, and an 86.4 rating. Actually, I didn't give you Herbert's numbers, did I? No. Herbert against the Jags was 25 for 43, 1 touchdown, 273 yards, 84.7 rating. Against the Texans, he was 14 for 32, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, 242 yards, 41 rating. And then against the Patriots, he was 19 for 31, 159 yards, no touchdown, no interceptions, 74.5 rating. As bad as those numbers are, I would take Herbert. I don't know. I feel like either way, you're gripping like a bottle of heart medicine when the two of them are out there, but I don't know. I just think
you're being cute. You're being cute. You are not gripping a bottle of heart medicine. You are gripping a bottle of liquor. Everclear.
Fine, Sure, yes. Yeah, I just feel like quarterback tools, I feel like Herbert has more of them. He just has to figure it out. Maybe Harbaugh's the guy to get it done. We'll see who they pick for an OC. Look, if you're Greg Roman, first off, you give Lamar an MVP, then a couple of years later, you're out the door because they blame you. Now you get Herbert, get your, what? Is that Roman's first year or second year, I guess, there. And now you're out the door because Herbert's getting beaten around against New England. That's rough. I don't know where he ends up, but Balky was so bad of GM. Our two highest paid players are both overrated. Something to think about. Oh, yeah, Josh Hines Allen. Yeah. Can't get to the quarterback consistently. There was a play in that game where he got to Josh Allen. The two of them were sitting on the ground with their back to the camera. And you had Josh Allen next to Josh Hines Allen. And I was like, I'm sure that'll be a meme or something at some point. But yeah, Josh Hines Allen, I guess hasn't necessarily lived up to it. But okay, so we're split. You would take Lawrence. I would take Herbert. Just wanted to see. Then the last game obviously was Monday night. I mean, it's not much to say. The Steelers Cinderella run ended abruptly as they faced a really good defense in Houston that got after Aaron Rodgers, just blew up everything they tried to do. Now, luckily, the Steelers' defense kept to the game until the fourth quarter when you had the pick six, you had the fumble recovery for a touchdown that just blew the game wide open, obviously leading to Tomlin leaving and everything like that. I feel like I know your answer to this question. Aaron Rodgers, hang it up, keep playing.
Go in a cave and smoke all the ayahuasca that you want and think that. Let me tell you another interesting part of Aaron Rodgers' life that I did not need to know that I learned this week.
Yes.
He likes to listen to Dolphins Mate because he thinks that it is therapeutic. I'm like, what type of bestial bullshit is this?
Somebody's going to write a book on this guy one day, and it's going to be nonstop content.
It's healing to the mind and the soul.
Only he could say that.
And there's vibrations. Yeah, there's vibrations because they use echolocation, you idiot. Like,
at 3&D, we are not making that up. He legit said that out of his mouth.
He said that.
Mm-hmm. Aaron's was like a turtle in that pocket. Yeah.
Turtles move faster than that. Have you seen a turtle take off? I have. Some of them can actually move.
I have too. Usually if you want to see a turtle move, put them on a beach and have a predator start chasing them. They'll jump into that water real quick. But yeah, look, Rodgers is an odd guy. I'm almost afraid if you took football away from him, what he would do. I'm kind of afraid to see what that does. Because he'll probably get into some space where his weirdness will be celebrated and it'll just be like, I don't need this much access to Aaron Rodgers' brain. A lot of this he can keep to himself.
Know that he uses dolphin mating noises to heal his brain. I don't need to know that. I could have gone without that information for the next 30 years of my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, bruh. Do you not think some things I just should not just disclose? Where's the shame? Let's start bringing back public shaming.
Right.
Let's start bringing that back.
Oh, yeah. That probably is what would happen if he quit football. He would just be a regular on Pat McAfee. Yep,
no, he needs to go scuba dive so he can go be down there with the dolphins and he can be healed. Like, why would you say that?
We know way too much about this man.
You sit that stupid ass Netflix thing got me think. I already know what you think about caterpillars. We know you like ayahuasca and other type of hallucinogens.
Mm-hmm.
And now you like listening to the frequency of dolphins mating.
There's a guy to hang out with at a party.
What happened to white noise?
Aaron Rodgers naked in the piranhas.
What happened to rain sounds? White noise, brown noise, blue noise, red noise. What happened to just normal healing therapeutic sounds? Why we gotta get? Why do we have to invade on the dolphins' privacy for this? They deserve some privacy.
Maybe he'll become a marine biologist.
He'd be insufferable.
Why are the Steelers so afraid to trade up in the draft for a quarterback? I don't understand it. Well, whoever the new coach is, you're obviously not taking that job for Aaron Rodgers. He's not the future of that team. So if you take that job, there's got to be somebody in free agency that you like, or you could convince maybe Pittsburgh to move up in the draft for somebody.
You know who would be a real good fit for the Steelers?
Who you have in mind?
Will Levis.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't think Pittsburgh fans would agree with that in any way. Isn't the draft in Pittsburgh this year?
Yes, they can come
So
get
that
Will Levis.
so that there might actually be pressure on Pittsburgh to maybe move up and do something. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is a zookeeper. I can see that. Rodgers hasn't been the same since Danica. I feel like he was just this way. Maybe Danica exposed it a little.
Aaron Rodgers has been pretentious and a scumbag for a minute.
Right. It's
And
hard
he
to
just
believe
thinks
that
he's
just
so
happened.
deeply. He's such a smart ass, and not in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
There could be good smart asses and there could be bad ones. He is just such a condescending smart ass that it doesn't make any sense.
3D says Kirk Cousins is obviously going to be the Steelers' next quarterback.
What are you giving to Atlanta? And what is Atlanta going to ask for? Because you ain't got jack squat that they will want other than TJ Watt. And we know you're not going to do that.
Right. If Kirk Cousins were younger, a first-round pick, but if the Steelers gave up a first-round pick for Kirk Cousins, they should be examined for, competency. Because Atlanta doesn't have a first-round pick. But I guess draft, I don't know. They had the opportunity to get Jackson Dart. They picked the wrong time to try and go after a quarterback in this draft. Yeah, this draft, look, Dante Moore staying in school, Arch staying in school. Well, I guess Trinidad Chambliss has to come out because the NCAA told him, yeah, you're out of eligibility. But he's not really a first-round pick, so I don't know what they would do. They give Malik Willis a chance. Malik Willis will make some money this offseason. Mac Jones is another guy who probably earned himself a chance at a starting job as well. I don't know if Steeler fans would like Mac Jones, but, Malik Willis would be interesting. Okay. All right, so before we get into the divisional round, because we did talk about Jacksonville, I have to talk about the press conference that everybody has lent their opinion on. And I forgot to write down the lady's name. Do you remember her name?
Lynn Jones.
That's it. Lynn Jones has her opportunity to speak to Liam Cohen, and she takes her 30 seconds or whatever to basically just paraphrase. Had a good season. Sure, it ended. Keep your head up. And for whatever reason, her taking that approach has turned her into like this unprofessional whatever to some people in sports media. Some have had her back, and I applaud them because I think too many people just want to be mad at something and they chose her for whatever reason. So I guess first thing would be, did you have any issue with, as Tapa put it, Mama Lynn, offering words of encouragement to Liam Cohen instead of the other press conferences where it's like, so what went wrong tonight? Are you safe? Is the OC safe? Stuff like that. Did you have a problem with her line of questioning?
Hell no. If you looked at Liam Cohen's face, that man was about to lose it.
Yeah.
He was about to lose it. And she went on some show and said, I could tell that he was immersed in his feelings, so I decided to uplift him. I'm sorry that she didn't ask, what if Trevor hadn't did this? It just made him go off. Because if he had went off on y'all asses, y'all would have been like,
right. Or some reporter would have done, so what did you think about Trevor Lawrence's interception? Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, because she covers them locally. She's her own boss. So her journalistic standards are definitely not that of ESPN's or the Athletics or some of these stupid ass pundits who just want to be heartless and cold for no reason. And they got what they got from their whole reaction with the Aaron Rodgers press conference. Because Aaron Rodgers played no games with him. None.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you take yourself out of the game? It was 30-6. And then he went on this whole 2-minute spiel about how he felt about Mike Tomlin and da-da-da-da-da. And the reporter asked him, how do you feel about Mike Tomlin? He lost it and left.
Mm-hmm.
She read the room, saw a man that clearly needed to hear something positive after that. You know, that these press conferences happen pretty directly after the actual game. So I'm pretty sure those emotions were fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no problem with it. And for Jamel Hill, airheaded ass, to sit here and call her auntie and da-da-da-da-da-da in that condescending matter, I know exactly what the hell you are, Miss Ma'am. She's been doing this shit for 40 years. She paved the way for you to get the job that you have. But you want to sit here and call her an auntie and pander?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't the fact that she called her auntie. You have to go pull up the tweet. Like, I wish I had it right here. But I didn't like it. And then you had these other people. There's no place for that. For what? Humanity? The hell is wrong with y'all?
Mm-hmm.
And shady punk ass. Don't let me get started on his Boston Butterbean ass. Talking about appreciation rewards. First of all, it's a participation trophy. You're just trying to be loud and wrong. And second of all, both of your damn rings are participation trophies because you ain't do shit. Like, you were a healthy scratch in both. So if anybody knows anything about a participation trophy, it's you. You saw the man about to cry. Anybody with the emotional intelligence of at least one could see that man was about to cry.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to lose it. That was his first playoff game in his first year as a head coach, and he lose it like that. Of course he's going to be on edge. Of course he's going to need some uplifting. This is da-da-da-da-da. Shady is a negative-ass punk.
Mm-hmm.
He is a hater. I cannot stand him. He is a smooth-brained bastard. Hey,
so I will say, I found the Jamel Hill stuff, and I will tell you she's walked it back since. So here was the quote from Lynn Jones. I'm going to tell you, congratulations on your success, young man. You hold your head up. You guys have had a most magnificent season. You did a great job out there today. You just hold your head up, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, Duval, you keep it going. We got another season. Jamel Hill goes, that can't be a reporter, because if so, I would not have used the term awesome. Okay, great. So then now she's changed her mind, and then she puts out, this is from Jamel Hill, what I would say to my fellow media members and to the general public is that if we're going to have this much discourse about reporter Lynn Jones, the very least we could do is follow her publication on social media and subscribe. Hill has since subscribed herself. And there was more to it. Hold on, I got to pull the rest of it. So basically,
to walk shit back.
Well, basically what it is, she found out Lynn Jones was a black woman
before she opened her mouth.
She found out Lynn Jones was black and walked it back. That's what happened. Because she also put, this is one of the few black newspapers still in existence.
You big dummy.
Right. And then she said more like, unlike a lot of people, I actually don't have a problem saying I'm wrong or admitting I didn't read the room right. If y'all like it, I love it. If this brings more attention to the newpaper and to her work, that's a win, which is why I subscribed. Maybe you should too. Don't act like you're trying to do that lady a favor with her career.
Don't act like that. Don't sit here and act like she's asking for handouts and shit, and she's been doing this shit for 40 years, longer than since you were in grade school, longer than since you were alive. Like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. And I agree, Tapa. Why can she not call it awesome when nobody had Jacksonville going to the playoffs? So it's Jamel Hill. She puts her foot in her mouth a lot. I mean, there's people
I'm
on her
very glad.
because
Usually I don't get along with Pat McAfee.
mm-hmm.
Usually I don't. But one, he stood up for her.
Mm-hmm.
And two, he taught me a new word, curmudgeon.
Oh, yeah.
Which means the negative Nancy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, Jamel Hill she seems like she's gotten out of that hot water and she put herself in with, because now she's put out there that the Steelers need to hire a black coach because it's the right thing to do to replace Tomlin, which obviously every year that whole thing comes up with Rooney Rule and everything like that. So it is what it is. I feel like if you're the Steelers, you just hire the right person. Like, race doesn't have to matter with it, but this is where we are in 2026. And I will say the Rooney Rule does work as planned. I know a lot of people don't like it, but one, the major problem is that we actually have to have the rule because it's kind of foolish that we need to, but you know how some of these owners are. So it's getting them opportunities to be interviewed. That's literally the whole point of the rule. The rule was not to force teams to hire them. It was just to give them the chance. And Mike Tomlin was a Rooney hire because he convinced Pittsburgh that he was the right guy. So the rule has some success stories. All right. Divisional round now. Let's get into these games because I think there are some interesting matchups here. Actually, let me... If Damien is around, I know he probably wants to talk about his Bears, but let's start with... Which game do we want to start? Actually, let's start with the Bills-Broncos game because I think this is an interesting one. Out of the 4 games this weekend, this might be the one that's more split in terms of who you think wins this one. Bills obviously coming off of I guess you'd say probably not a great looking win over Jacksonville. Denver's been on a bye, so we'll see if they're rusty with the week off or anything like that, but it is out in Denver. Bills have a beat up Josh Allen, no Gabe Davis, no Tyrell Shavers at wide receiver. Can Josh Allen, as everybody's saying, jump in the phone booth and come out as Superman and lead the Bills to a win over Denver out in Denver tomorrow?
No. I have Denver by 3.
You have Denver by 3? All right. I think the spread's like 3.5 or something like that. So, okay, so if you have... Oh, Damien's already here. There you go. So, Damien, we're talking about divisional rounds, so I know you'll probably have something to say about your Bears here in a second. But, all right, so if you have Denver winning, I guess why is it? Is it just that you think the defense will just be too tough? Or what do you think Denver does that allows them to beat Buffalo in this one?
I don't think Josh Allen is going to take care of the football very well versus this Denver defense. They're not going to be able to run the ball well versus this Denver defense.
Okay.
I just think that between it being cold and that mile and that elevation and Josh Allen, they play in cold. They don't play in elevation.
Right.
That's 2 completely different things, bro. I think that's going to have more of an effect. Because usually when he's in a divisional, they're playing in Buffalo. They're playing in Buffalo in the divisional. This year is going to be a little different. So, and I don't trust Buffalo's defense.
Cool.
Not the run defense.
Yeah.
So
I
I'll
mean,
take for those reasons. I'll take Denver by 3.
okay. Yeah, because the win over Jacksonville, remember, was Josh Allen's first win on the road in the playoffs. So it's something that he's just gotten that monkey off his back. Now he has to go into Denver. And I agree with what you just said. The run defense will be under the microscope. They gave up 154 yards to Jacksonville. Denver doesn't have J.K. Dobbins. I get it. He's their leading rusher. J.K., I think, might be available next week if they advance. They still have R.J. Harvey. R.J. Harvey was brought into Denver to be the 1-2 punch with J.K. Dobbins. I think this is a week that he could have a big game. Because, Buffalo gives up another 154 yards to Denver. Then, they're probably not going to win this game even though they did against Jacksonville. I think Bo Nix can factor into the run game as well. Bo Nix is athletic. He's a mobile quarterback. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do some like play action, roll him out, and give him the option to run. I think he has to factor into the run game if they're going to win. And then for Buffalo, you're down so many people, get James Cook the ball more. He had 18 touches against Jacksonville. I think against Denver, he should be up like 25 touches if they're going to have a shot. Because if they think Josh Allen's going to drop back and like throw it 45, 50 times and beat Denver, I don't think that's going to work. So I agree with you. I have Denver winning. I know I gave a score prediction on sideline. I can't remember, but I think I had Denver by like 6. So we both have Denver in that one. All right. I guess we'll stay AFC. The next game is Texans versus the Patriots. Nico Collins has been ruled out. That happened earlier today. He was in concussion protocol. Mm-hmm. He obviously had a more severe concussion, I guess, because he was carted off. Because on the other side, Christian Gonzalez was in concussion protocol, but Christian Gonzalez, I believe, for the past couple of days has practiced fully, so he is on track to play. So no Nico Collins, which means Christian Kirk is going to have another big day. And yes, Stephen A. Smith, it's Christian Kirk, not whatever. I'm not going down that road. But the Texans fumbled the ball 5 times against Pittsburgh. They recovered. I think they only lost 2 of them, I should say. So this is a game where both defenses, I think, will be on the forefront, but it's going to come down to a matter of, do you believe C.J. Stroud can make more plays on the New England defense, or do you believe Drake May can make more plays on the Texans defense? So I guess when you look at this matchup, who do you have winning it?
The Patriots. Okay. And from what I know about Mike Vrabel and how he's going to have that team coached, did you get what I just sent you about Barmore and Milton on Instagram?
Oh, hold on. Let me see it.
Look at that. That's something interesting. I mainly sent it because my defensive lineman was on there, but I also saw your 2. But
highest pressure rates among defensive tackles. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Milton played against the Chargers. So he is back, yes.
C.J. Stroud and company, they can fumble the ball 5 times against Vrabel. And the Houston Texans defense ain't shit but the Temu Titans plus Daniil Hunter. He knows that group.
Mm-hmm.
From Danico Autry to Azeez Al-Shaair and a couple of other pieces, he knows that group.
Didn't he coach in Houston too?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Patriots by 10.
Okay. All right. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I could definitely see it happen too. And this is why. McDaniels is not Arthur Smith. McDaniels will have a game plan for that defense. And to use your term, Jory, Drake May is also slippery. We saw it against the Chargers. There was a play, I think it was in the third, where it seemed like they collapsed the pocket on him. He wiggled his way out and ran for, I think it was 10 yards and a first down. I think he's going to have to do that maybe a couple of times against Houston because Will Campbell is young. He's probably going to be lined up against, I want to say probably Danielle Hunter. I feel like Will Anderson might be over on the other side with Morgan Moses, but they'll flip. They'll do everything, up front to kind of change the variety. But it's going to be a tough day at times for Will Campbell. I think Will Campbell will handle his own other times, but Drake May's going to have to be alert to those two on the end. And when he has that opportunity to step up and run, he's going to have to do it.
And please put a shoulder into Azeez Al-Shaair's head.
Yeah. Well, that's also the thing. Like, if he does take off run, be aware where Al-Shaair is, because we know he's not against taking that late slide and knocking a quarterback out. Now, I think if he did against New England, Will Campbell will probably chase him down and try to beat him up, but, we don't need Drake exposing himself to a guy like that. So Damien says Pats win an OT. Okay.
I don't think Houston's offense is going to be able to do enough. They must be the
That's my
offense.
thing. That's my thing. I just don't know if their offense will do enough to make it an overtime type of situation. Unless CJ Stroud looks like rookie year CJ Stroud. If Drake wins this game, Patriots going to the Super Bowl. Okay. If you can cook Houston's defense, Denver doesn't matter on anyone, not the NFC. Pats win the Super Bowl. Okay. All right, so that's the AFC part of this. We are in cahoots with those two picks. NFC. I mean, Damien's in here. Let's go Rams, Bears. The forecast, probably snow. The Rams played in the snow last year against the Eagles. Look, Matt Stafford played in Detroit. Devontae Adams was in Green Bay. Puka went to school in BYU. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. But could the weather play into the Bears' hands? Because we know the Bears, when they need to, they can play smash mouth football and just line up and run against you. And they've shown they can have great success that way.
The Rams defense ain't going to let them do that.
And that's where I was going to go with. So when you look at this game, Caleb Williams is a young quarterback. His first chance in the divisional round, which is obviously different than the wild card round, against Matthew Stafford, McVay, and the kind of pressure they can put on you. Who do you have winning this one?
I have the Rams.
Will Damien be happy?
Sorry. Okay. I'm sorry, Damien. I'm not delusional. I have the Rams winning outright. Okay. You should know that your defense is not that good if they can't turn the ball over.
Okay.
And Gordon, that Gordon person in the secondary, barbecue chicken.
Kyler Gordon?
Yes. Barbecue chicken, turkey, fried fish, burnt bacon, like cooked.
Mm-hmm.
So the Rams also learned that they can't let teams hang around either.
Mm-hmm.
From last week. Carolina was their wake-up call.
Yeah.
So I think this week they're going to actually take care of business.
Okay. I agree. I mean, unless the Bears can get pressure on Stafford like Carolina did when we saw Stafford was erratic and was missing guys, I don't know if the Bears can recreate that. I think if you're the Bears, if you get to the fourth quarter and it's a one-possession game, maybe you feel good about where you have them and you pull one out late. But I just think between Adams, between Puka, I think that might be too much for the Bears. Great season from Chicago. I do think it ends this weekend as well. So here, Damien, we're waiting for you to jump in on this one. Rams defense has allowed 30 a game this season. Plus, look who they all put 31 on them last week. Just saying the defense is good, but not great. That's a fair point. They did give up 31 to Carolina last week. Bears pass rush can be inconsistent. You're right. They can't be against the Rams.
The only thing about the Rams defense is not the defensive line, it's the secondary.
Yeah.
The defensive line is going to stop the Bears from running the ball. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
With Byron Young, Jared Verse, what's his face? Is it Kobe Turner?
Kobe Turner. Was Durant? Turner? It's one of them. Kobe something. Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. So unless the Bears want to spread the Rams out and, Caleb Williams starts throwing Durant. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Sajin. I knew it was either Durant or I can't remember who you said, but yeah. So, yeah, Turner. I knew it was one of them. So, unless Caleb's going to spread them out and kill them with Colston Loveland and Roma Dunze, which I don't know if the weather would allow. Yeah. Yeah, there is a Kobe Bryant, but that's not who we were talking about.
He plays in Atlanta.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant's a secondary player. It is kind of crazy how many Kobe's you're going to start seeing around the NFL and sports now. It's spelled many different ways.
He's a crackhead, though. He's a black lab.
Well, you spell it like Kobe Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing the COBY, there's COBIE, there's
COBE.
Yeah. So a lot of variations of it.
I'm like, why would you spell that man's name like that? Because some illiterate's going to look at that and say, come here, Kobe.
Yeah. True. I mean, look, it's the influence of the man. So, because also, like, the Fab Five spurned like all the Jalen's you see all of a sudden came from the Fab Five with Jalen Rose.
Named Jalen.
It was because of the Fab Five with Jalen Rose. Everybody started naming their kids Jalen because they were the biggest thing college sports, and kind of they crossed over into pop culture. It's going to be a shootout. Rams secondary isn't great. It's their front seven. Yeah. I kind of do believe, even with the weather, that could be the highest scoring game of the weekend. Rams and Bears. But I have the Rams as well. Final one. Seahawks, Niners. Niners have no Kittles. Okay. Yeah, I was about to say. I feel like as beat up as the Niners are, is really not much to say about this one.
Cinderella run come to an end. That is the Seahawks. Usually there's usually one team in every major sport that's the buzzsaw.
Mm-hmm.
This year was the Seahawks.
Okay.
Just like in basketball, it's the Thunder right now. College football. The Hoosiers are putting belt to ass to anything moving.
Yeah. Yeah, we get that game on Tuesday.
I'm not watching that.
I made the joke, if Miami wins it, somebody better check in on Michael Irvin. That man.
That man might actually go home to be with the Lord because, yeah.
I don't know what he's going to do. Only way the Niners win is if Darnold falls. Now, Darnold is dealing with this oblique injury, but he says he's good to go. If I'm the Niners, I probably test it. I gear up for the run, force Darnold to throw the ball, and let's see if he's actually healthy or not. But I agree. I just don't see how the Niners stop everything that Seattle can do. Because if they get the run game going with Walker and Charbonnet, you're in trouble. If you can't cover JSN or Cooper Kupp, like they can come at you so many ways. And then that defense versus that Niners offense with no Kittle now, all they're really worried about is what? Juwan Jennings? Like, come on. Yeah, I agree. Give me the Seahawks. Easy. in that one. All right. Now, only thing we have left, final burn.
And you see what I changed my headline to.
Yes. Yes. That is a dead giveaway of who. Yeah. All right. Just go ahead.
First on the docket,
Yeah.
we got Mr. Cameron Jarrell Newton. And you're getting the full government name because for you to just sit there and invite women on that podcast so you could try to demean them and you try to make yourself look smart, boy, your ass done did it this time. What the hell is a neglector? And the word was actually eclectic.
Mm-hmm.
She tried to correct him nicely. No, my word. It's your word and your ass can't spell it. Eclectic. And then you gonna start it with an N. You make APS look terrible.
Look, he didn't go to Auburn for education.
He came from Atlanta. He's making Atlanta public schools look terrible.
Mm. Yeah, that clip was just
Neglector.
like it was just you being wrong. She called you out, and then you really try and justify like, no, you just don't know the word because it's my word. Like, no, it's not a word. That's why she doesn't know the word.
You don't know
And the
your own
spelling.
damn word.
You know he was not ready for that question of how to spell it because he was just thinking about
and then the first thing that come out of your mouth, the word is eclectic. And the first thing that come out of your mouth is an N? What?
Cam. How many times has Cam been on Final Burn?
First time
pretty regular. He's pretty regular last year.
He's gearing up to be the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
It's something about that hair. I think the hair is draining the life out of his brain cells. And if that's the case, he need to go ahead and cut that shit off.
Right.
Eclectic and whatever the hell he spelled is two completely different things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's really said NCLECTA for eclectic. And that wasn't the right word he wanted to use anyway. The correct word was eccentric.
That you knew he couldn't spell. You knew he couldn't spell that.
And that's the same type of people, him and people who think like him, to be the same type of people who don't know how to use sense and sense, there, and there, 2 and 2, and want to act like you're an idiot. Like, that's exactly why. And that's why he type all his Instagram captions in hieroglyphics.
I hate that. It's like a ransom note. Like, why does he do that? Y'all know some of these star athletes getting pushed through college without picking up a book. Hey, they can't all be Jalen Browns.
Learn how to spell in high school. He's making Atlanta public schools look bad.
Mm-hmm.
That damn neglector for eclectic.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And everything you type in is encoded language, like we in the CIA or something. Speak English.
Yeah, I'm not deciphering that stuff.
I don't. I don't.
Yeah, he could
couldn't
not
read it.
Yeah.
Just big, like just head big and empty. Ain't jack squat in it but air. Like with that type of illiteracy, I just feel like the one brain cell he has is struggling to hang on.
It's like the movie Inside Out. If you did it in Cam's head, it would just be one, just looking around. Cobwebs everywhere.
Just what is going on? He about one hit away from being the lights on and ain't nobody home. Like, and then with
this man was
ass, he getting on my damn nerve. Can somebody from the Eagles please revoke his card? He been on dumb shit all week. All week. Him and that damn Acho. But I'm tired of hearing Acho talk. See, the difference between like Cam and Acho are two different levels of stupid. Cam is just dumb. Acho is one of those who's not dumb, but is dumb. But once it's so hard, who wants so hard to project like he's not stupid.
And
he talks like this, and he makes sure every single syllable in his words are pronounced like he's just smarter than everything else. But if you really pay attention to what the hell he's saying, it's just a bunch of word salad. Meaningless mumbo jumbo. Yeah.
Well, before Fox Sports, he was like a rarely used guy on ESPN.
He got known for saying stupid shit on Fox Sports.
Yeah.
That's that, and then the whole Joy Taylor thing going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ESPN, he was a bit college football analyst that they would use every once in a while.
And then he over here talking like he did something. I pulled up his stats. I'm like, you ain't even play shit. What are we talking about? What did you do?
I thought he was a special team.
The bench players talking like starters. What are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And with Shady's stupid ass, with him being as dumb as he is, saying these nonsensical airheaded tapes, I promise you, Kyle, if Shady got infected with a brain-eating amoeba, that bitch would starve.
Yes.
With some of his backward ass takes, like just the Eagles lost, you go straight to defending Patullo to blame Jalen. That loss was a complete failure. He's not an Eagles fan. He's not an Eagles fan. Because anytime that he's not an Eagles fan, he's an Andy Reid fan.
Mm-hmm.
Because he takes any opportunity to crap on the Eagles. He does. And it's not just Jalen. He's also A.J. Brown's friend. So that's another reason why he takes that stance. He's just a biased buffoon who just talk like he know everything. Damn, the gold in your mouth didn't give you no sense in your brain. Anyway, Acho and Shady are two asses of the same cheek. Two cheeks of the same ass. That's what I meant.
And Westbrook was the better running back.
Yes. And where was I finna go? Stephen A. Smith. You coon. I mean, clown. I mean, shit show. I mean, idiot. I mean, sellout. I mean, how many words could I use it for him? So now you're mad that a lot of black people don't like you because you sell out. You think that the lady in Minnesota got shot for a reason. And if you actually watch the whole video, that officer had no reason to shoot her.
The people.
Her. Yeah. And the thing is, they had another thing where another officer got shot in Minneapolis, where somebody got shot in Minneapolis. He got attacked with a shovel and shot the dude in the leg. So even when you're getting attacked, you can shoot to injure and you don't have to shoot to kill. Give me a break. And then you want to make a joke, call Christian Kirk Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And now you see why people are mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why your hairline all the way back, towards the back of your damn head. Him and his ego. Yep. I pay the bills around here. Somebody need to kick you in your damn throat.
The only people they had who really did that was Max. And Skip at times would do it. But it's just that Skip was such a buffoon that nobody. But Max would do it to Stephen A. I don't know who it is now. Maybe Ryan Clark, but
And Paul Pierce.
gotta go with my guy. Okay.
No, because he's defending Dennis Schroeder's stupid ass.
I know. Yeah.
What Dennis Schroeder did was completely outside of the game. I would have understood if he had punched Luka after Luka said what he said. Right after, not after the game. If you felt that bad about it, you should have checked him right then and there and took the foul, took the damn penalty.
He's still the truth to me. Okay.
You over here defending Dennis, but first of all, the line about Dennis, Luka told the man, you should have took the paycheck, you dummy. Okay. That's a running joke, and it's been there since he declined that damn paycheck.
Yeah.
It's been a running joke. So he need to get mad at everybody else and decide to go woof up on him. And the man been calling you a B word, of course. And now you act like one because you wait until after the game. And Paul Pierce stupid ass defending this stuff. And you wonder why people don't like you, Paul. You wonder why people don't like you. Outside of Celtics fans.
It's my guy.
And you're the only one that likes him.
Got the man's jersey. Y'all tearing him apart.
He was wrong.
No, he was. I truly believe it was because Luka's on the Lakers and it was the Celtics-Lakers thing that he sides with Schroeder, who he played with. But
I don't give a damn.
No, I'm just saying. We know Paul Pierce.
Schroeder needs to go figure out what the hell to tell his barber to do next and stop with that stupid ass little piece of hair at the front. This is not 2015.
I can't stand Schroeder. Even when he was on the Celtics, I could not stand him. I couldn't stand him from Atlanta when he had the Lamborghini that was broken down on the side of the road, and he was just
and that little blonde streak. I couldn't stand his shit then.
I couldn't stand that they pushed Jeff Teague out of Atlanta for him. I was like,
I couldn't stand that. I'm like, why would y'all do that?
Oh, he absolutely hates Miami. Yeah. Paul Pierce can't stand Miami.
Because they beat him?
I don't know. Probably, yeah.
And I feel like there's some LeBron in that. There's some LeBron something in there.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Pierce and LeBron, they used to go at it. Actually made for good TV. But
and my last little spiel. I am a black woman, and I'm going to sit here and say this. For all of you, and not just black people race bait, white people race bait, Hispanic people race bait, Asian people race bait, everybody race baits. So I'm not going to sit here and act like this is just unique to black people. But in this situation, I'm definitely finna say something because I'm tired of this one. Mike Tomlin, he stepped down because he knew that the organization was at a standstill. And he knew he needed a break. It's gone stale. So for these idiots who make actual racism hard to believe, sit here and say, yeah, he got fired. They told him to resign because he got da-da-da-da. If they didn't respect him because he was black, they would have fired him. They let him resign. They let him resign. And I don't understand what it is. He's been at that job for 19 years. I'm only 24. 19 years of my life, he's been the coach.
So by the time you started following football, you've only known Tomlin as their coach.
Exactly. Not every organization is racist. Thank you. Tapa. And that goes for everybody. Let's stop this unnecessary race bait. And then there's a select few who are caping for Gerard Mayo. I don't like how the Patriots did Gerard Mayo and da. Actually, I kind of like the fact that they got rid of him right after the season ended, because why would Robert Kraft just stick with him to let this man get attacked by Patriots fans? And you know how they can get. He clearly wasn't ready. The team wasn't competitive. The fact that Mike Vrabel has this team with some of the same pieces that looked lost last year, right where they are where they are this year, is not an indictment on Mayo being black. Mayo is terrible. He was a bad coach. It wasn't his time. Let's stop this stupid narrative. And for the people who like to rage bait, I'm very easy to rage bait because I can't stand stupidity. Go to hell in a basket. It's unnecessary. It is completely unnecessary to bring up race where race doesn't belong.
I agree.
And it's definitely your discernment to look at everything from an angle. And once things start, before I even bring up race and I look at everything from an angle. And once all the other angles just don't make sense, that's when I start bringing in race and other types of details. We are not going straight from he resigned to the Steelers only did that because he was black. If they did that because he was black, he would have been gone a long time ago.
Right. Hard to think they would deal with you for 19 years if they didn't like you because you were a black man.
Yeah, Robert Kraft is not racist. That is the least man that I think to be racist is Robert Kraft. Is he black, a freak? Yes.
Meek Mill. He loves him some Cardi B.
Mm-hmm. So. Is Robert Kraft a freak? Yes.
Hey man, you know. Can't all be perfect. Sure he loves a massage parlor.
Him and Deshaun Watson should open up one.
Imagine the optics of that. If Deshaun Watson retired and started a chain of massage parlors, that would be wild. Well, Jerry had his whole thing last year with that picture that came out when he was younger.
I mean, Jerry Jones is a known racist. There is pictures of Jerry actively campaigning against black people entering a white school. We know he's racist. He just looked like what black people can do for him. So anything that he says that's questionable, we already know what side of the fence he's on. And we also know that he damn near 90, he ain't changing shit.
Right. Yeah.
We also know the McNairs, the Texas owners. They're racist. Yeah. So we got to be very, very, very picky about how we use those type of terms. Because in a world where people are getting harassed for going down the wrong street and getting pulled out of their houses and being racially profiled, I don't think it is okay to just simply throw out that word willy-nilly and for no reason. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm the only one, but I know I'm not the only one. But I just think that it just minimizes the impact of actual racism. Yeah. And I can't stand it when y'all do it. When people say that's not what it is, you get called a sellout. And how am I a sellout? Because I look at things critically. How am I a coon? How?
That's the thing, a lot of people who do view everything through that spectrum think that they are big braining it and they think they're the smartest one. When yes, it is definitely not warranted in every situation. But unfortunately, 2026, well, even before that, but social media, if you want attention, you know the lanes you have to go down. It's usually race baiting, politically, or whatever, and that will give you the most
Or
attention,
attack
which is what.
black women. You
Yeah,
want attention?
and that's
Attack
normally
black women.
what. Yeah, yeah. And since most people only use social media to be the center of attention, those are the lanes they go down. So I agree. People need to be more responsible with that. Steelers
I think
organization
that's
did Nick
all.
Russell to give Mike Tomlin talent last 5 years.
Yeah, also the defense has been slipping, and he's a defensive coach.
Yeah.
So his message was getting stale. And
And
he
they still
recognized
find
that.
ways to be above 500 even with all that.
Right. They kept, instead of getting a quarterback, they kept giving him these nutcase wide receiver jobs. Nut jobs of wide receiver.
Yeah. If Tamika doesn't make the
I
Super Bowl
wouldn't be
next 3
mad at
years,
that.
he'll be fired.
Papa, I know the Texans organization, if they don't get over this divisional hump, his ass on the seat in 2. I mean, me and you both know this organization, but because we see him twice a year, but
Steelers drafted bad, traded wide receivers. I mean, they traded what? Chase Claypool and Juju and Antonio Brown.
they were all head cases. And
Justin Fields, older Russ, and A-Rod. Yes, you're not winning a lot of games with those 3. But once again, he still found ways to be over 500.
That's all I had for my final burn.
Okay. Mine's just kind of quick. Oh, yeah, George Pickens. That's right. No, that was another one. I'm going at MLB. They got to do something. The Dodgers are out here, highway robbery. They just signed Kyle Tucker. 4 years, $240 million. He was the number 1 free agent on the market. That's with all the money the Dodgers had tied up to begin with. They signed him. Their payroll next year, and this is not counting the deferred money and all that, is $413 million. You tell me, if you are a fan of, I wouldn't say the Marlins, but the Marlins are just a terrible organization, but if you're a fan of the Orioles or the Tigers or the Rangers, like, how do you compete with that when you're operating around like 150 million and this squad out here has got 400 plus million? Like, if you look at their lineup, it's like, how do they lose a game next year? It is wild. And
I hope they implode from the inside out.
Well, and look,
foolery.
I think every sport loves having that team that everybody loves to hate. And the Dodgers are that team, and they've been that team for the last few years. And look, 3-D, you bring up the Mets. The Mets had a high payroll as well. The Mets are just a dumber, I guess, version of the Dodgers, because the Dodgers are spending smart. Mets aren't. And the Mets still have a high payroll themselves. They're $359 million, so not like they're that far off. I feel like the conversation comes up amongst baseball fans a lot. They have to put in some type of structure to rein this in. Because like Tapa said, if you were, let me take a team that actually is kind of good. Seattle. The Mariners last year had a legit chance at the World Series. They fell short. Their payroll is $196 million. Like, how do you compete with that? And obviously spending money doesn't mean you win automatically, but it's hard not to think the Dodgers just don't win it all again next year. And like I said, it's nice that we get to all hate the Dodgers, but for the product on the field, like, you don't want.
When people stop watching baseball in total because of that, they'll fix it.
Well, I hope, but baseball likes to be really slow with changes. People hate the Dodgers because they won. They do. Yankees had the highest payroll 2 years ago and lost to the Dodgers, and I laugh at the Yankees all the time because of that. But don't be surprised if MLB ratings drop this season. So they'll drop in probably certain areas. Because if you're a Marlins fan, a White Sox fan, a Pirates fan, a Nationals fan, are you going to really waste your time? Probably not. Because what's the point? Now, 3D, this is the second part. How come no one's complaining about the Pittsburgh Pirates who spent no money, screw the fans and season ticket holders? So salary cap is one thing. Baseball absolutely needs a floor because the Marlins have a payroll of $100 million. That is embarrassing. And they have money, obviously, because they own a baseball team. Force these teams to pay up until a certain amount, I don't know, maybe say $150 million. If you go too high, then some of these teams will just throw more money at bad players. Baseball has to put in the floor, and if they don't want to put a salary cap because the big squads will never go for it, I don't know. You got to do something. I think they have like luxury tax levels and all that. Maybe make the penalties a little bit harsher because the Dodgers cannot continue to operate like this. This is crazy. So, that was my mini one, only because I saw Kyle Tucker sign there and I was just like, how? How are they doing this? When they see the ratings drop, they'll do something like the NBA did. But that's the thing also. Baseball used to be America's pastime. It was like the number one sport. They're well behind the National Football League. They're behind the NBA. Maybe they're third, but I've also said, you give it a few years, soccer could pass them. I know you want to hear that.
I think the MLS is within a year or two. I don't even watch grass ping pong.
Okay. But at least the MLS has brought over like Messi and a lot of these big names.
And we're growing the game, and the game is growing. I feel like within the next 2 to 3 years, it's going to be bigger than baseball. And that's a problem because baseball, I didn't understand it until I actually had to play it. I mean, not play it. Girls can't play baseball; they play softball. But even though there has been a woman in the MLB.
Mm-hmm.
I learned about that last night. Hold on, let me look up her name again.
Yeah. But look, even now, we're getting a women's professional baseball league, which I think that's great. But the MLB has to kind of modernize things with them. Because baseball's kind of operated like this before. The big cities spend all the money, the smaller cities have to sit in terror against them. Got to create a competitive balance.
I learned about this one. On April 2nd, 1931, 17-year-old Jackie Mitchell of the Chattanooga Lookouts struck out both Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig in an exhibition game, and the commissioner of the baseball avoided her contract as a result. What the hell? How?
I think the Chattanooga Lookouts are still a thing. I think they're like the AAA affiliate for some team. I can't remember right now. But yeah, they're still a thing. That's interesting. But yeah, like it's just crazy. I don't know. And that's coming from me as a Red Sox fan, where the Red Sox have a payroll around, I think it's around 300 million. No, 276. And Red Sox fans think they should be spending like the Dodgers. So Red Sox fans are obviously upset by that, but
I am looking at what's going on in Cobb County. I'm like, come on, you know the meme with the stick.
Mm-hmm.
Do something. Do something.
Yeah. To be honest, these girls in college actually are good. I wouldn't
They
be mad at
actually
them.
really are good.
Yeah, there is a women's league.
It's coming because you're getting Odyssey Alexander. She'll be playing in it.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of others I know of.
I think the women's professional league starts this summer. I think.
Yep.
Monet Davis is in it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fun. Be fun to see what she's been doing since the Little League World Series thing, when she was the talk of the sports world. Yeah, and I think that's another thing. Like, we're seeing women's sports are making a lot of ground. You've got Unrivaled on now. I was actually watching that before we came on here. That's growing. Look, WNBA isn't smart about this. A lot of these women will just go to Unrivaled, and that will just become probably the women's league of choice. But I think the WNBA will figure it out. But even with that, like, WNBA and Unrivaled have been talking about like a partnership. It makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's all I had. Baseball, rein it in somehow. But as 3&D said, kick Miami and the Rays, all of them in the butt, and make them spend some actual money too. How would I fix the MLB? First step would be the floor, because $100 million from the Marlins is a joke. Make them spend, like I said, $200 million might be too much, but if you got to go there, you got to go there. I think a lot of the stuff that they did with pace of play was stuff I was probably arguing for years, but they did that. That fixed a lot of the issues I had with MLB. There was just way too much downtime. Yeah, the salary floor is probably the biggest one. I think the cap is too big of a fight right now. Like, Pittsburgh Pirates have Paul Skeens. Because they don't spend money, at a certain point, Paul Skeens is just going to end up on the Yankees, the Red Sox, or something. They got to stop that, too. Because a lot of these small market teams, if you go to a Pirates game, you're only going to watch Paul Skeens. If he's not there, what's your reason to go to the ballpark? Or the A's, who screwed over Oakland, are playing in Sacramento until they can move to Vegas. They're also a team that doesn't spend money. How's that going to work?
They're going to have to change their name.
Yeah, I don't even know. I feel like they're just going to be the Vegas A's. I feel like they're lazy like that. I mean, I would do it.
It's already trademarked.
The Vegas A's?
Yes.
Oh, well. I thought I don't know.
Like, how do you not go ahead, if you know you're trying to move to Vegas, go ahead and trademark the damn name?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. They'll do something. I mean, that whole thing is just ridiculous, too.
A mess.
Yeah, because Oakland raised some issues. You're like, fine, we'll just go play in Sacramento. Yeah, great. Yeah, baseball's just... And stuff like this is why baseball's kind of slipped amongst, fan viewership. But at the end of the day, you love baseball, you'll watch baseball. I'm just saying, you got the World Cup coming to America this year. That means it'll be another boom for the sport. Just be careful.
America don't deserve to have shit.
Look, I'm a soccer fan, and I've said that. Like, if they came out tomorrow and said we're removing the World Cup, I would go, yeah, I see why.
Because how people are just intolerant of other people that don't look like them right now, and I'm not just saying it's a certain people, it's everybody.
Mm-hmm. But FIFA's corrupt
America
too.
Don't deserve nothing.
FIFA is a corrupt organization as well, so it makes a lot of sense why they won't do it. But that's for another day. But yeah, I mean, it's Final Burn. That's all we got for you. Jory, you got anything you want to add before we get out of here?
To the people who like to build up country places, like I live a little bit out 45 minutes outside of Atlanta. So they're building things up. Here are 3 things that we don't need: a gas station, a chicken spot, and a liquor store. Can you build a Whole Foods? Can you build a grocery store? Like every freaking corner over here, there's a gas station. And with that gas station, there's a chance that you're going to have a package store in it. And then you're going to have the smoke shops, the vape shops. We don't need all of that shit. And we don't need no more chicken spots. Whataburger is nasty. Can we get Whole Foods? Can we get Sprouts? Can we get something? Something unique. Can we get one of those? Can we get Hot Pot? I love Hot Pot. I love it. Every single intersection is a damn gas station. Ain't that much damn gas in the world that y'all need these much gas stations.
Right.
Like,
no, you're absolutely right. Like gas stations, liquor stores, it's like I get it. A lot of people drink, but there can't be that many people drinking.
Like and chicken spots and wing spots. I get it. We live in Georgia. There is more food to sell other than a damn chicken wing.
Well, I mean, technically statistics say birth rates are dropping, so
yeah,
at a certain
I know
point,
why
population won't be an issue.
That's a whole nother discussion. I'm not trying to get into that.
Yeah.
But,
so
do better with your real estate space. If there is a gas station on one corner, at least wait 2 to 3 more corners before you put another one. I am tired. Build something different. Can we get a skyscraper in this mug? Y'all so worried about gas station, liquor stores, and chicken spots. Like, do they want to come here? Because it's terrible here.
I've been to that area, and yeah, traffic is a mess. But look, if they came here, the bad traffic in Atlanta would just be worse.
It would be worse. Because all the bad drivers from everywhere else decided they wanted to come to Georgia. Move out. And they complain. Y'all complain. Oh, Atlanta this, Atlanta that. Well, take your bitch ass out. Off 20. Get on 285 and get on 75, 85 expeditiously and to get out of here. Because y'all are making these gas prices go up. You're making car insurance rates go up. Because you just get over here. You come down here and complain. And y'all the main reasons that they're not building anything of some substance other than a gas station and a liquor store. But y'all want to complain.
Look,
out.
One of the biggest differences I noticed moving from Boston down here was the way that they laid out the roadway, which is the biggest problem because Atlanta, it's like, oh, more people come here, we'll just put more lanes on the highway. It's like,
no, that makes it worse.
You're just giving them more room to clog up.
Correct. To hit each other.
The way to fix it, you have to get a public bus, train, stuff like that. Give people alternatives. But Atlanta, with their wisdom, put all that within 285. So
yeah. So I live past 285. Yeah. The nearest bus station is 15 minutes away from me. So if I wanted to use the bus, I'd have to Uber because I don't have a car right now. I'd have to Uber to the bus station and then pay to use the bus.
Yeah, that's the issue big cities run into. Like Boston, you can get up, you can find bus and train to get you anywhere you need to go. And there's still traffic, don't get me wrong, but at least you have another way. Atlanta, you know traffic's out there. You just have to hop in your car and jump into it.
Hop in your car and you have to know where you better be a human GPS, or you better have a full tank of gas and some patience.
Yep. Yeah.
Macon and Atlanta are two completely different things.
Yeah. Macon, you might as well be in another country.
You're in another country. Macon is further south from me. And Macon is really that last part of Georgia where anything after that, you're just going to see Confederate flags and ignorance.
Yeah.
Until Albany.
That's actually true. Yeah. Jacksonville traffic's only bad when Florida Georgia game. Yeah, that is true.
The traffic by my house is terrible, but they're widening the roads. I'm like, when they actually start breaking ground on this, those are tourist destinations. Of course, you're gonna have traffic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I get what he's like. Yeah, if you lived in one of those cities and you weren't a tourist yet, you would absolutely hate it during tourist season.
I was starting to hate it when I was driving and it was starting to get busy. I'm like, damn it, I'm starting to not like y'all. All y'all moving out here now.
Right. Yeah.
Before it was boring. Now y'all building stuff up, and I don't like the apartments that y'all building because you got like the little townhouses that you're building because you got people built all squished together like a tuna can. I want some land.
Yep.
Like.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back on. No more chicken stores and no more chicken spots and liquor stores and gas stations. We ain't got that much coal. That was the point.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's all we got for you. I'm back here on the network on Monday for On the Ball, where Brett, Ian, and I will be breaking down Divisional Round weekend and everything like that. So you can tune into that. If you want some more me up here on the network, also have other shows here as well that you should check out. So once again, it was just Jory and I this week. Next week, Key should be back, so you'll have the full crew next week. But yeah, loved the energy in the chat. Appreciate all of you. We love the interaction. And yeah, when we're back here next week, we will be on to Championship Sunday in the NFL, which means only a couple more weeks until the Super Bowl. So which is crazy. Because obviously we're all big football fans, and we're gonna have to fill in the little hole in our hearts with, I guess, NBA. But
so hold on, wait a minute, because I'm scrolling on Facebook and I'm hearing Eagles wide receiver AJ Brown requested a trade multiple times during the season.
So they just didn't listen. Oh. Well, I guess, spoiler alert, he's going to get traded in the offseason then.
I hope he like cold weather, because the only person who's going to be dealing with him is Vrabel, who can.
Okay.
He didn't do none of it.
I think for the Eagles, he has to wait. The Eagles have to wait till after June 1st to lower the cap hit to trade him. It's a little less after June 1st, I believe. Great. Yeah. So now, like, when that report hits Boston Sports Radio, every caller is going to be like, hey, let's go get him then. Oh, great. I think it's like 40. I thought it was like 20 million. Is it 40?
I will look into that some more.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that next week. We'll have all the numbers. We'll have all the numbers for you next week.
And all the information.
Mm-hmm. But that is definitely interesting. So I guess come back next week. We'll talk AJ Brown and his multiple trade requests. But yeah, so enjoy the weekend, enjoy the games, and we'll be back here next week to talk about it all again. So for myself and Jory and Key, who'll be back next week, we're out of here. Good night. Bye.